Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And what a win by the New York Knicks. You got to be happy about this win. You have to be satisfied. Of course, it wasn't a perfect win, but for the competition we're going up against, the way the Knicks have been playing lately, this is the perfect way to overcome adversity. This is the perfect way to get your first home win of the season. A collective team effort, which we came out on top. We hit shots when it mattered most. Was this game ugly? Yes. This was a defensive battle, you could say, for all four quarters, or at least for the New York Knicks for all four quarters, because the New York Knicks were the first team to step up consistently offensively in the quarter that mattered most, in the fourth quarter. This was a tie game entering the fourth, and I feel a very underrated shot that people are going to overlook, because the fourth quarter was amazing. We're going to be getting into that. Definitely a tale of two halves. The Knicks were down in the first half, but they're only down a few. James Harden, after he hit that three to give the Clippers a 3-point lead, I'm like, damn, they might get some momentum. They might get some momentum entering that fourth quarter. I don't like that. But shout out to Emmanuel quickly. I believe he only had 7 tonight, but that was such a huge sidestep three to tie the game entering the fourth quarter and block some momentum by the LA Clippers. That's just a huge storyline right there. James Harden's debut for the Clippers, we spoiled that. We killed them in the fourth quarter. They still have Paul George. They still have Kawhi Leonard. And shout out to Julius Randle. Julius Randle was a beast. Yes, you could point out some turnovers, but that could just be straight up hating if you just look at the negatives. I'm someone that's critical of Julius Randle, but what did I say? He's a New York Knick. I'm rooting for him. He responds from adversity. He saw my video. I'm just kidding. But he went out there, 27 points. He crashed the glass. He looked active defensively, active hands. This team was tremendous defensively. End of the first quarter, it was 21-19. It was an old school 90s basketball game. I thought we were going to see Mark Jackson go out on the court and, put his back to someone and dribble the ball like near his hip. I was getting that vibe from this basketball game. Shout out to RJ Barrett, coming back from the knee soreness, plays extremely well, shoots over 50%, nailing his three balls. He had 4 assists. He rebounded the ball pretty well. He had 26 points. Shout out to RJ Barrett. We needed RJ to step up. We needed Randall to step up, especially because I didn't like the matchup for Brunson defensively. Their versatility, Kawhi and Paul George are some of the best defensive players in the league, and they were throwing blitzes at him at times. So credit to the Clippers for keeping Brunson in check, but RJ and Randall stepped up. And the funny thing was, I thought we are gonna get another stinker from Randall. I'm like, I like the ball movement, but it felt like, it's funny to say, it felt like we're moving the ball too much. I'm like, is someone gonna take a shot though? And when Randall, he passed up open looks, but I understand Grimes is open on a couple that he did not nail. Grimes didn't have a big game offensively, but I thought he played extremely hard defensively. This entire team played their absolute ass off defensively, but Randall had the right mindset. He started attacking the basket. He started looking to draw contact or finish through contact. And then eventually, when he was getting things going in the interior, it opened up so much for the floor spacing. And then he was able to knock down threes. He did hit a big three when it came to the fourth quarter to build so much momentum and I believe put us up 14 points when it looked like the Clippers could have got back into this game. It didn't matter. The Knicks were forcing turnovers just left and right. It was the Villanova fourth quarter. It was the Villanova Wildcat fourth quarter outside of Jalen Brunson. Brunson didn't have big time statistics, but credit to him for coming into the game, not being selfish and looking to distribute the basketball. Started the fourth quarter. I loved the ball movement by the entire backup unit out there. Obviously, RJ was out there for the fourth quarter, got subbed out at the 7-minute mark and then went back into the game. But beautiful ball movement to open up the fourth quarter to get a 3-point lead. Josh Hart 3. Josh Hart's clogging the lanes. He was an absolute stud out there, jumping, passing lanes. Josh Hart came up with this huge steal when he was clogging the lane on the left wing and was able to outlet it to RJ Barrett for just an amazing dunk with so much electricity. And I'm just so proud of this team. The Knicks were not looking encouraging, and it's crazy how one game could just flip the switch. We could build so much momentum off of this. But Dante DiVincenzo, shout out to this fucking dude. This dude, sky's high for offensive rebounds. Sky's freaking high, and he had a nice finish in transition. That's one of the Achilles heels of his game, his finishing. But he comes off the bench, restarts that fourth quarter, big time offensive rebounds. He relocates or gets to a spot in the corner, quickly finds him 3. I believe quickly found him a couple times. He had one very difficult 3 when James Harden was smothered all over him. You could say it was pretty solid defense, but just better offense by Dante DiVincenzo. He just gave us so much momentum. He rebounded the ball well, he moved the ball well. Josh Hart, he was saying before, can I just make a damn 3 before entering this game? And then he ended up hitting a pretty big 3 to start off momentum for the fourth quarter. But RJ hitting a 3 in the fourth, having that transition dunk. Julius Randle just piling it on. And you could say maybe a couple things the Knicks need to work on. turnovers, taking care of the basketball. Maybe RJ was a little rusty coming back, but that's something he needs to work on. And our defense was fantastic in the interior. I'm going to be getting into Mitchell Robinson, and I thought it was good in the mid-range. There was just a few possessions that we have to clean it up offensively at the three-point line. I understand Paul George draws so much attraction, so Kawhi's going to be open in the corner. Norman Powell, though, did hit a couple threes before entering half, which kind of did put us in this position that we were down a few at half. But the Knicks were just fully in this game, and they look fully engaged. They were clamping up defensively. There were some shots by Kawhi because Kawhi has the size. He's so freaking strong. This dude's like a robot. JJ Redick even explains on his podcast how strong he is. Just, you feel this dude. He feels like a fucking robot. But Kawhi, there's times it's like, that's fantastic defense by Grimes, but he has the size. He has great elevation. He just knows how to use that glass. But man, this was an ugly game for like 3/4 of basketball, like shooting the basketball. But in the fourth quarter, defense led to offense, just forcing turnovers. Mitchell Robinson was all over the place in this game. Isaiah Hartenstein was all over the place in this game. Mitchell Robinson's been extremely consistent. He's been awesome. He's been disciplined. He's been an absolute stud on the offensive glass, like even better than last year somehow. That's how great of a start this dude has gone off to. This dude was a man possessed in the perimeter, or in the interior up against Zubac. He was amazing. Shout out to him. He's one of the main reasons our offense has been a little functional at times, because obviously there's been a lack of efficiency, but giving us those second chance opportunities. Even the defensive glass, he had a strong finish in the interior, ended up making the free throw 3-point play. Man, oh man, you just gotta be pumped up. RJ finishing well at the basket. He's attempting mid-range jumpers and it looks comfortable. He's knocking down his threes, efficient as hell. Again, Randall 27, RJ 26. Quickly big three before entering that fourth. James Harden started cooking a little bit and operating, I believe, in that second quarter, isolating versus RJ. And yeah, outside of like maybe a few possessions defensively in the third quarter, and Harden cooked RJ a couple times, but Harden's one of the best isolation guards in the game. He's such a great distributor of the basketball, but we kept them in check. Paul George, I believe he only made 2 or 3 field goals. Let me see right here. He had 10 points. Paul George he was 2 for 11 from the field, 18%. That's below keeping Paul George in check. We shut him down. 10 points for Paul George, 1 of 6 from 3. Kawhi, who I love, one of the best players in the game. You hold Kawhi to 18 points, you're going to be in good shape. 8 for 16. Maybe they were kind of exhausted defensively, having to chase Brunson around, and Brunson again didn't have a big time game offensively. Missed some open shots at times, but then at times it's also just fantastic defense by the Clippers, and I like that he didn't press a lot, but Hartenstein, he was hustling out there. Just shout out to DiVincenzo, shout out to Josh Hart, shout out to Hartenstein, shout out to Mitchell Robinson, shout out to the whole fucking team. The whole team, I thought, played awesome. They played their role. Just this game gave me chills. This was a very exciting game to watch. We're passionate as Knicks fans, and you got to be encouraged with this. We knocked down our free throws. We distributed the heck out of the basketball. We moved the ball. I thought both units, just everyone played extremely well. Maybe Grimes, you want to see more aggressive offensively, but I thought he played tough defensively. Just seeing the consistency from RJ to start the season, coming off a knee soreness, the way Randall responded from adversity, attacking the basket, playing hard defensively, getting rebounds, drawing fouls, knocking down his threes. Mitch stud. We got Mitch involved, which I love to see. Randall had a great pass. He found Mitch for an alley-oop. So I love that we had the recognition to get Mitch involved offensively. He dominated defensively, dominated on the glass. The versatility of him defensively, just getting all these deflections in the first half. I believe his numbers weren't crazy defensively, but it just felt like he was getting so many deflections. And then in the second half, we're just coming up with these steals. We're clogging the lanes. It just felt like the floor spacing went away from the Clippers because of our defense. And Kawhi and Paul George struggling was huge because, they do have a lack of some depth now, you could say, especially with that trade that went down, losing like Marcus Morris, Covington. Even though those aren't fantastic players, they're still very quality players in this league. But I'm glad that we spoiled Harden's performance at the Garden, or he didn't even have a big time performance. But just like karma, man, like you request out of a team, like 4 different teams, you deserve to have a fucking stinker and not light it up at the Garden. So shout out to the basketball gods there. We just took what it looked like was ours. It was ours. It looked like Kawhi didn't really want it. Paul George didn't really want it. It looked like we wanted it. Yeah, you look at the final stat line here for the New York Knicks. RJ Barrett, 26 points, 9 of 16 from the field, 56% from the field, 50% from 3. He had a ridiculous spin move. like working off a Paul George hip, and then nice finish over Zubats, which was a ridiculous finish. Just he played extremely well. Shout out to the team, man. Shout out to the team. You got to be excited. Start off the first quarter. This was an ugly first quarter, but he was one of the main reasons we were able. Well, he was the main reason we were able to like set the tone offensively, get the first bucket. He did a great job working down the lane, just drawing a foul. Finishing in the interior. Nice soft touch with that baseline floater as well that came into the second half. But yeah, RJ, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, so efficient, 50% from 3, 56% from the field. Randall, 27 points, wasn't extremely efficient, but I loved his mindset. He was aggressive, 43% from the field, 27 points, 3 of 8 from 3, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Did have 6 turnovers. RJ had 5 turnovers, and Randall had 6 turnovers. Got to clean that up. Mitchell Robinson, yeah, he only had 4 points, but while I'm editing this video, I have no idea why I said Mitchell Robinson had 4 points. Maybe it was a glitch on ESPN, but no excuses. He had 13 points. He was an absolute beast in the interior. Shout out to Mitchell Robinson. Just wanted to address that because that would have pissed me off. But we know Mitchell Robinson's game. He shot 60% from the field, 100% from the free throw line, made that one free throw. He had 4 steals. It's crazy he didn't have a block, but he had 4 steals, 15 rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds. I believe it was the third quarter to start, or it might have been the second. It just felt like every quarter he was taking over. But one quarter, he just gave us just so much momentum. It was amazing. Jalen Brunson only had 7 points. He was 2 of 12. I just don't like the matchup defensively, and I'm glad others stepped up. But he did have 6 assists, 3 steals. He clogged the lane at times as well. Quentin Grimes, he came up with a steal, only had 3 points. Josh Hart, 10 points, 7 assists. I love that he just looks to push the pace. 2 steals. Knocked down only 1 3, but it was a pivotal 3. Dante DiVincenzo, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds. He knocked down 3 threes, which I believe all came in the second half. Manuel Quickly, 7 points, but a big 3. Isaiah Hartenstein, he had 6 points, 3 rebounds, but constant energy. The Knicks wanted it more. They took over in that fourth quarter. Tie game entering the fourth, but it didn't matter because the Knicks wanted it more. They created turnovers. They were able to score off of turnovers. They were able to be extremely efficient, force tough shots on the LA Clippers. I'm pumped. It's a great win. But at the end of the day, Knicks are still under 500. Let's beat the Spurs. They look promising with some young players, but they're still young at the end of the day. And let's welcome them to the Garden. Hopefully Wemby doesn't welcome us to the Garden. Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.